Tap whip, about to run up the milk, turn me up a little.
Ladies, if he mentions Kevin Samuels or the Passport Bros,
if she follows Drew Follow, run for the hills. If she doesn't have a father, run for the hills. If she doesn't believe men are the prize or supposed to be leaders, run for the hills. If she doesn't believe that it's happy couple, happy life, run for the hills. Men, if she doesn't go to the gym, run for the hills. If she doesn't know how to cook home cooked meals, run for the effing hills. If she doesn't know what nurturing is, run for the hills. If she doesn't know 5 love languages, run for the hill. If she cannot name 10 books, run for the hills. If her whole identity is social media and posting bikini pictures for the whole world to see and seeking validation, run for the hills, papi. Te estoy diciendo ahorita, córrale. If this woman says, oh, I believe in equality, but never splits anything with you, run for the hills. She thinks going out and drinking and partying all the time is a lifestyle, run for the hills. If she thinks, hey, babe, go ahead and put on a different outfit for me, is controlling, run for the hills.
Out of all available women and all available men, 80% of available women have sex. 20% of available men have sex, right? So what does that tell you? Women are sharing their men. You know what I'm saying? So you think you're monogamous, but you're lying to yourself and somebody's lying to you.
Say, look, you know what's crazy about this situation? They done got dressed up, hit the club early so they didn't have to pay because they don't got no money. And then they're going to require you to have money so that you can talk to them. That is so crazy to me because they're not going to be a traditional woman. That would make sense if you was overseas and they were doing things traditionally. But over here, nah, they're not going to be submissive. It don't make no sense. And then they don't even know how to really get a man. They just got to sit there and hopefully you make the approach. Patrice O'Neal had a great piece about it. I'm about to let y'all listen to it, bro.
I don't think that the woman chooses the guy.
No.
No, Jacqueline, let me say what you do. You choose, but it's not a choose like we choose. You choose, it's almost an unsatisfying feeling, your choice, because you have to choose as if you're scratching a lottery ticket, meaning you survey the land and go, he's nice, and your skill, this is what I mean, your skill is to stand there and go, I'll get his attention so that he comes over with his skills. Because you have no skill to get a man. Your skill is your beauty. You don't know how to get a dude. You don't know how to talk your way into nothing. You don't know how to talk your way into happiness. You never had to move and shake and talk and figure out and get rejected on a regular basis.
And see, there's something that you got to understand.
You don't, that's not your existence. So of course not, you don't choose a guy. A guy chooses you and you choose to go,
I actually did.
Bro, I swear it is such a tragedy that Patrice O'Neal is not here to help men navigate this world, bro. He was literally ahead of his time. I don't know where he got the game from, but whoever he got it from, or if he came up with it himself, it don't matter. This man was a gem. What he said is so true. I always knew that, but the way he explained it made it make sense. You don't have any skills to get no man. Your skill is to sit there, look good enough for him to make the approach. Make yourself open for the approach. That's the only skill y'all have. Let's keep it real.
Right, you really got to hear this video through. Don't just skip, right? So I used to always say like, oh, men don't like women anymore. They're weird now. Like, you know, I'm not saying that they're bisexual or gay or anything like that. I'm just saying they don't like women anymore. But that was me being unaware of myself. So now that I feel like I'm becoming aware of myself and becoming aware of my habits, I wouldn't like women either. Like, the shit that we be doing, it's exhausting. It's really exhausting. And it's like, I wouldn't text you back either. I would mislead you too, because it's emotionally draining dealing with women who aren't aware of themselves. Like, you wanting everything from me is gonna drain a man if I'm a man. I understand that might not make sense, but I'm saying if I'm a man and a woman comes to me and she's expecting all these things from me and she doesn't even give them to herself, I wouldn't like your ass either. Yes, you're fine, you're attractive, but you're looking for me to validate your entire existence through a relationship. You're literally looking for me to validate everything about you through me while I'm still trying to figure out me. I wouldn't like me either. As a man, I swear to God I wouldn't. We have to do better as women loving on ourselves, because we don't love them properly because we don't love ourselves properly.
Fellas, they finally starting to understand what we be talking about, bruh. This one here is taking accountability. She realized that, man, damn, if I was a man, I wouldn't even want a woman like myself. That's true self-reflection right there. And she's growing. She might make somebody a good wife or a partner or something later down the line, you know. More women need to take a page out of her notebook.
As a man, I feel like if you are a man and you post on your Instagram stories, that makes you a slut.
Are you dumb?
You're a whore to me. You know, because posting on your Instagram story, that's peak horny activity.
But time y'all show some respect around here.
Because you're only doing that to try to get... You post a selfie, you trying to convince that you cute. You post an infographic about Israel and Palestine. You trying to get opinionated poli-sci. You post a picture of your fiance on your Instagram story. You just letting them know who they gotta hide from.
God damn!
I know that you're trying to get buns. You ain't slick, sir.
As somebody who had an affair, one of the hardest things for me with the recovery was when the fog actually lifts and you can't help but think, what the F was I thinking? When you realize you almost gave up your entire family for a pipe dream, for a fantasy, it can hit like a ton of bricks. And even now, when it's been several years later, it can still sometimes hit me when we're having a really good time. I can look at my family and be like, holy crap, I almost lost everything for my selfish, hurting self and wanting to run from my own issues. And it took so much time to get healthy again. So if you're on that line, flirting with coworkers, messaging with an old flame, run now. Take my advice and the advice from several people who've lived it and walked it. It's not worth it. Get out and get therapy now.
You had an affair and you up here telling us one of the hardest things for you. You the person that did wrong. The guy should be up here telling us this. It's funny how they come up here and make themselves sound like the victim when you ruined your life. You did all of this. Nobody told you to lay down. This doesn't sound like accountability to me. This sounds like I'm going to tell you a few things and I want you to feel sorry for me. I cheated because this, that, and the third.
Listen, your wife has a flesh just like you. She may not tell you, but men and women are not that different. Really? Bruh, a woman can be just as cold, if not colder than a man. What does Proverb 5:3 say about the adulterous woman? I mean, it says her speech is smoother than oil. That means she can say some things that drive a man crazy. It's a reason why we're told to stay on a path far from her. But I don't understand. I knew brothers with a lot of women and it seemed like the brothers was running things. Yeah, but I bet those brothers were spending some money too, weren't they? Well, yeah. Listen, women like that know how to make a man feel like a giant. But the whole time he's their puppet. They'll make you think you're in charge until they're done using you. You hear me? Yeah. And what does Proverb 30 verse 20 say? She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I've done nothing wrong. Zero accountability. She'll do all of that to you and make you think it's your fault. Now, a lot of these women have been hurt by people and they don't realize the damage that they've done. Yet. So we pray for them. But you have a good woman.
Women who really think they could survive without men on the planet Earth is insane. I'm just keeping it 100. I want to be with the man, not with the woman. I'm sorry. I'm not going that way. No. Women who...
who do you think is a female role model? That will tell me a lot about you. Go ahead.
A female role model
Give
for
me? Give me a female role model, yeah, that you think
I
is
would
one.
say Beyonce.
Incredible.
Go, Queen.
I would have to.
Okay.
Because, like, you know, like, that's the person I want. Like, the person that I strive to be is somebody that's discreet. And I also, like, you know what I mean? Somebody that's
See, here's the thing with
discreet
Beyonce, because I talked about this in my book in a chapter. She is probably one of the biggest con women ever. She tells y'all strong and independent. She tells you guys, all the single ladies, she tells you guys, I can have another you in a minute, blah, 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 blah. But guess what happened? She went ahead and married Jay-Z, who has a higher net worth than her, okay? When he cheat on her, she ain't going nowhere, right? And she's still with him. So she tells you and sells you the lie of feminism and being single and you can replace and all this other bullshit. Meanwhile, when it actually happened to her, she folded. So Beyonce is not a good role model. If you're gonna follow what her like mantra, if you follow her actions, maybe that's one thing. But what she sells y'all versus what she does are two different things.
I like you, man. You know what's crazy though? Myron is spot on with this one, man. Sometimes I think he's over the top, but at the same time, every once in a while I do hear him drop a bar, and that was a bar, because it's no different than Cardi B not allowing her children to listen to the music that she produces. It's no different than when rappers talk about people and doing things of that while they're sending their kids to the best schools in the country and getting them inside of secret society clubs and things of that nature while they're teaching your kids to do the wrong thing. So, these celebrities are not to be made out of role models. That's just supposed to be for entertainment purposes. But when you are subjecting the music to younger people whose minds are impressionable, they don't understand it. Like he said, Beyonce did tell you to be an independent woman. She did say she wanted a soldier, which a lot of women took that song and started dating street dudes, things of that nature.